in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now, please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul Sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the NBK. Born and raised up NBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, a member of the NBK family. Salute to everybody joining me in the chat, those who are listening and those who will be listening later. I'm your host, Stephanie, also known as Queen. The Knicks won in Toronto for the first time since 2015, and we're going to get into that. Be sure to stick around until the end where I talk trade rumors. And I also talk about the importance of RJ Barrett, despite the fact that we've gone 4-1 in his absence. And shout out to Harlem Girl, who was also on it, who talked about how we need RJ. Shout out to Tim Smith. Shout out to Sherwin putting in that work, finding Obi's replacement. He said, "Good morning. I found Obi's replacement in the G League. He is better than Obi in everything except shooting threes. Simasola Shitu." I hope I got that right. He's younger than Obi and bigger. Let's see how Obi looks when he comes back. He's definitely been watching the Knicks, and I'm pretty sure he understands what he needs to do defensively and rebounding wise. But anyway, let's get into it. All right. So basically, coming into this game, the Knicks were 20-18, sixth in the Eastern Conference, 5-5 over their last 10, and had won 3 straight. Toronto was 16-22 coming into last night's game, 12th in the Eastern Conference. Remember where they finished last season? Right now, they're 12th. 3-7 in their last 10, and they came in having lost 2 straight. We started Brunson, quickly, Grimes, Randle, Robinson. RJ Barrett remains out. I'll give an update on RJ Barrett later in the show, so stick around for that. Fred VanVleet started for them. Gary Trent Jr., Scotty Barnes, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and Otto Porter Jr. was out for them. I'm not sure how much he's a part of their rotation anyway. All right. Individual stats, and then I'll check in with the chat after this. Randle, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 3-pointers, shot 54.5% from the field, and also shot, I believe, 45.5% from the field and 54.5% from the three-point line. He hit 5 3-pointers in the first quarter to ensure that the Knicks got off to a good start. He was hot. There wasn't anything Toronto can do with him. He had 19 of his 32 points in that first quarter. Actually, still playing well, still taking good shots, in my opinion. Like I said before, he has about 4 spots on the floor where he takes his shots, and he's been committed to those spots. He's been able to get to those spots and been able to get off really good shots. Still playing well and playing well on the defensive end as well. So shout out to Julius Randle. We'll talk about the fans voting in the All-Star game just a little bit later on in the show. I think, what's helping him is less responsibility. And I said this coming into the season when we were talking about what the impact of Brunson would be on the team and on Randle in particular. And I said, I hope that Randle no longer has to be the primary facilitator. And that doesn't mean he doesn't bring the ball down the court, but that he doesn't have the responsibility of creating shots for others. That his main responsibility is just to get to your spots and play basketball, right? Passing out of the double team, that's just basketball, right? So I think that's a slight difference between, oh, I got to get everybody involved. I got to make sure Fournier gets his shots. I got to make sure Grimes gets his shots. That's a lot of, mental responsibility as well. Now, I just got to get to my spots and play basketball and read the defense. And that's what he's doing. And he has no problems. That was a concern coming into the season. Would he allow someone else to bring up the ball? Would he allow somebody else to be the primary facilitator? He doesn't have any problems, getting a rebound, giving it off to quickly Brunson. One time he was screaming at Rose to come back and get the ball. So anyway, I just love the way he's playing. Brunson, 26 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 threes, 5 for 7 from the 3-point line. Missed a clutch one, but also made a clutch one, on the and one. He's just clutch for us. I just feel comfortable with the ball in his hands coming down the stretch of games. So just, kudos for him. I know there was some concerns about whether or not he can score over taller players, more physical players. I don't think he's having a problem when he's fully healthy. I mean, think about that shot with under a minute left. It was cleared out. Van Vliet was on him. Well, and Van Vliet is a very good defensive player. He just went by him, just went right by him, right? They rotated over. It was about 3 of them, on him, and he scored anyway and got the and one. So down the stretch, Brunson is my guy, and it feels good though to have 2 people you can go to that can score for you down the stretch. And we'll talk about RJ Barrett as well. I'm not. RJ Barrett creating his own shot, I'm not a fan of. But RJ Barrett playing off of those 2 guys, the way he's been shooting prior to the injury, yeah, I'm really looking forward for his return. Quickly, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 or 6 from the free throw line. I like the way Quickly is playing. He's playing within himself. In my opinion, he's not forcing it. Like I said, the other show, I've just gotten used with a little bit of what I consider to be over dribbling. I'm just getting used to that. But, he operates, in the pick and roll extremely well in terms of finding people. I think his decision making has been much better. And I get it. Some of us feel like maybe he should pass a little more than he shoots. But, this is Quickly. And I think he's been playing well as of late. Robinson, 10 points, 18 rebounds, 2 blocks. He fouled out of the game, but his presence, the intangibles in terms of what he does for us on the defensive side, in terms of stopping the driving lanes, shutting down the driving lanes and contesting shots, even if he doesn't block them. But lately, more often than not, I should say, he's been much better on the boards, particularly the defensive boards. And we need that. We need that. He had 18 rebounds. 8 of them were offensive. 10 of them were defensive. Giving us those second chance opportunities. He was all over the place. Really loved the way Robinson played last night. What do you guys think about Robinson's performance? And Grimes, he played 36 minutes, 16 points, 2 assists. Let me move to that screen. 16 points, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, was 6 for 13 from the field. And he started on Siakam. Like, we were joking in the Just Nicking It weekly show just the other night, Thursday night, that we just putting Grimes on everybody, whether he's giving up inches or not, and we were laughing about it because, we were thinking that basically he plays the perimeter guys, right? He started on, Siakam, I guess Siakam is a perimeter guy, but he started at center and Grimes was on him. So I don't know. Maybe he'll be on Embiid when we play Philly. I don't know. But, as quiet as it's kept, he scored in double figures the last 4 games and 5 out of the last 6 games. So he's becoming a bit more consistent, offensively for us. And so if you have that, him scoring in double figures, him hitting a 3-pointer, him playing defense, that's really good. That's really good for us, particularly when RJ comes back. It's just another weapon. So if somebody is off, you have somebody else that, can help out. McBride in his 21 minutes, 9 points, 1 rebound, 1 1 block. In that third, or I believe it was the fourth quarter, he hit, a few 3-pointers, for us in the game. He believes in his stroke. He believes in his work. That's what they were saying in the game. And he takes good shots. He may not be hitting them. I'm talking about for the most part, not last night. But the shots that he takes are good shots. They just haven't been falling. But last night they did. He was 3 of 6 from the field. From the field for 50%, and 3 of 5 from the 3-point line. So he gave us some good minutes in 21 minutes. Fournier only played 12 minutes, but he had 4 points, 1 steal, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Didn't hit a 3-pointer. I thought his minutes was good as well. I don't think he's going to remain in the rotation, but I don't have a problem with McBride, IQ, Fournier, Obi, and Sims or iHeart, or 2 out of those 3s, however they choose to do it. I don't have a problem with it. I get it that if it's Fournier and Obi, that's not going to be the strongest, defensive team, but it's team defense anyway. I watched all night Brunson getting picked off, Grimes getting picked off. It's just team defense. Somebody gets picked off, you got to rotate. As long as you're fighting to get back, in the play, hopefully, there's no harm, no foul, so to speak. But it happens all the time. So you put those guys in the rotation. You have 5 guys playing on the second unit. That takes a little stress off of the starting unit. They don't have to play 40, 45, 47 minutes. Now, last night, was pretty good, comparatively speaking. Julius played 40 minutes. Manuel played 37. Quickly played 37. Brunson, 38. Mitchell Robinson, 35. Quentin Grimes, 36. That may seem high, but we've seen these guys in the 40s, the past few games. So if we can get a semblance of a second team again, that'll help bring those minutes down. Let me see anybody else out. Sims only played 4 minutes. I'm not sure what that's, what's that about, especially with Siakam and the way he can move his feet laterally. I thought Sims would get more minutes in this game, but Siakam really wasn't a problem. He had 18 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 turnovers, but he really wasn't a problem. Van Vliet, 28 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 3 threes. He played well. Gary Trent Jr. played. Every time I turned around, he was dropping a 3. 27 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, a steal, 4 3-pointers. And Anunoby, 13 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals. 3 steals. He's leading the league in steals. 50% from the field. We'll talk about, Anunoby later on when we get into the trade rumor section of the show. But what do you think about Anunoby? We've seen him twice this season already. What has your thoughts changed? Are you more open to a trade for him if that opportunity arises, or from the 2 times that you've seen him, like, nah, I think we should pass. All right, I just want to make sure. iHeart, 16 minutes, 2.7 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. I know some of us are, some Knicks fans would like him not to play at all. What I will say about him is the hustle is there, the size is there, and the rebounding is there. When you look at Sims, iHeart, even Mitchell Robinson, there's pluses and minuses with all of those guys. Pluses and minuses with all of them. All right. Building blocks. Don't see New York Knicks giving up what Toronto wants. Pass. You're passing because of the compensation, though, not because of him as the player, is what I'm getting from that. Winding down Sims' minutes for Obi's return on Monday. Well, if Obi is only going to get the minutes that Sims gets, that's 4 minutes. Mitchell was in beast mode last night. Dwayne Will, yes, that's the mode I want him to be in. Shy Power was my thing for Mitch, is staying consistent. I'm a homer for Mitch. So 11 points, 13 rebounds, 2.5 blocks. I'm good with. I'm great with that. I'm great with that. I mean, we all know what he brings as far as his intangibles, but I would like some counting stats as well. Salute Quiet Money. Appreciate you. Pudge Nice. Appreciate you. Dwayne Wilson. All right. Building blocks. I thought we were going to lose last night. Julius set the tone at the beginning again. Yeah, he's been fabulous in the first quarter. Having him and Brunson. I know we complain a little bit about the offense. Even I complain a little bit about the offense. You have two guys that can basically get their shots whenever they want. Shout out to Cool Cal G. Appreciate you. Ajay, appreciate you as well. All right, we went over that. The only thing that stood out for me in terms of the team stats is the Knicks shot very well, 47% from the field, 43.2% from three-point line. Remember in the beginning of the season when the Knicks could not hit a three-pointer to save their lives? We were like the bottom of the league. Right now, we're still 23rd at 34.1%, but over the last 15 games, we're 11th, 37.3% from the field. And in the month of December, we were 14th at 36.4% from the field. So if you take away like the first 15 games of the season when the Knicks was just a hot mess from the three-point line, we've been shooting it better. And this is what I like. If you're playing defense, you can hit the three-point shot. And you got two players, and if you add, RJ Barrett, three players that can get their shot off, you're going to be in games. And you're going to be able to get back into games if you're behind. There was a time in the season where the Knicks weren't hitting the three well. They weren't defending well. And I was wondering, if we get behind in the game, how are we getting back if you can't hit the three and you can't defend? But they've shored that up now. And so now, even when the Knicks are down, I feel confident with the three-point shot with their defense. They'll be able to get back in the game. They're slowing the pace. I don't have that here, but the Knicks are play at one of the slowest paces in the league. And remember, they started the season as a very fast-paced team. And Julius Randle talked about that last night. And he said that, even though they were playing faster, they were struggling in the half court and they were having difficulty closing out games. Now that they're playing at a slower pace, they're getting the shots they want, they're executing better, they're getting better shots. And it's probably helping the defense, as well. It's just less possessions to defend as well. So I know in the current NBA, or people like to say the modern NBA, it's a faster pace game, especially offensively, but you have to play to your strengths. And the Knicks just weren't that good when they were playing fast. It looked great, but they just weren't a good team when they were playing faster. And right now they're playing much better. Free throw still a problem, 69.2% from the field. I just don't think, listen, the Knicks are in sixth place right now. They go from 6 to 8. We've talked about it before. 6 through 12 is in play for the rest of the season. And some would even argue 5 through 12 is in play for the rest of the season. 69.2% from the free throw line. Overall for the season is much better, but that's because they shot in some games 80% to start the season. But these last 15, 20 games, I have to check the exact statistics. They have not been shooting the shooting well at the free throw line. It's going to be hard to win games like that consistently, right? We did it last night against San Antonio as well. We didn't shoot well. We got out of the game, but I just think it's going to be an issue for the rest of the season. And points in the paint, how did we do? We got outscored, 42 to 30 points in the paint. RJ Barrett is going to help with that once he returns. What's up, Almighty Finesse? I appreciate you. All right. So just in general, the Knicks led by as much as 17. The Raptors only led by 2, and that was early in the first, right? So the Knicks never trailed after, I think it was midway in the first quarter. The Knicks never trailed in this game. However, Toronto would not go away. I think the Knicks were up, 14, 15 points with like a little over 14 minutes left. And it just seemed like Toronto just turned it up a little bit, right? They started hitting every shot, and it was shades of Dallas. It was shades of Dallas. I was like, oh, I do not believe we are going to lose this game after having been up most of it. But the Knicks did, some good things down the stretch to close it out. You were able to get baskets from Randle, a free throw. You were able to get, a basket, from Brunson. So just those little things, they did just enough to be able to hold them off and close out the game. Brunson, like I mentioned earlier, taking Van Vliet off the dribble, scoring over three Toronto players, and hitting the free throw, right? Later on, he missed one. Those free throws missed free throws down the stretch has bit us in the butt in the past. It didn't last night, but we have to shore it up. If we're really serious about finishing in the top 6 and possibly the fifth seed, you got to be able to hit your free throws. Brunson, I think I talked about this on the weekly show. In terms of scoring in the clutch, he's top 10 in the NBA. The last I checked, he was 7th, but that was a few days ago. In terms of points scored in the clutch, and was shooting about 48% at the time. So, I mean, I think we get on him a little bit, not everybody, a little bit for dialing up his number a bit too much. But in crunch time, I don't really have a problem with it because he's able to get to his spots and score, whether somebody's tall on him, physical, it doesn't really matter. They played him with Scotty Barnes at times. Didn't really matter. I like that they mixed and matched the starting lineup. So there was a time when Fournier, who was it? Fournier and I put Grimes, but Grimes is starter. It was Fournier and somebody else. iHeart maybe was in the game with Randle, Mitch, and IQ. So just mixing and matching the first team and the second unit. I mean, we don't really have a choice. We're down to 8. Sims played 4 minutes. So to me, that's an 8-man rotation. So you are going to have to mix and match the first and second team. I thought Fournier gave us some good minutes. I'm advocating for Fournier to be back in the rotation. I'm not talking about 30 minutes. I'm not talking about being a starter. But I still believe that even though we're ranked top 10 in offensive rating for the season, I still think that we need some more offense in that second unit to help take some of the pressure off of those first unit guys and get them a little more rest, right? And you got to have some people in there who can score because it's a lot to ask to just put in a defensive team in that second unit. And your job is just to make sure they don't score at all. No, you're going to have to score as well. You got to play good defense, but you're going to have to be able to score as well. And that may be why Sims' minutes is going down. Maybe. I'm not quite sure about that. I know somebody said in the chat it's because Obi is coming back, but let me know, why do you think Sims' minutes is down? He was only playing like 10, 11 minutes anyway, but last night it went down to 4. Tibbs played iHeart and Robinson together. What do you think about that? We're not going to go small, but we're going to go big. So Robinson and iHeart was in the game together. And Robinson at some points was playing whoever the power forward was. Robinson was on Siakam at times, and I thought he did an okay job. But let me know what you think about the Robinson iHeart pairing. I don't know. I didn't run any of the stats to know if it was a net positive with those two being on the floor. I just thought it was strange. All right. Before I get to the update, just shout out to Thibodeau for his 100th win as a Knicks head coach. I think that's 100 out of 100 in 92 games. So he's over 500 coaching for the Knicks. I think he's one of 8 coaches that have won 100 games in Knicks history. I know he gets a lot of flack, but since Tibbs has been here, we actually look like a basketball team. So he's not perfect. There's some things that he does that I don't quite understand, but he's a real NBA coach. So kudos to him for his 100th win. All right. Obi Toppin update. So basically, Obi Toppin will be back in the rotation when he gets his legs under him, once he's able to get some practices under him. I don't know when he's going to practice. I guess the Knicks don't play again until Monday, so maybe they'll practice one of these days, if not both, and he'll get an opportunity to practice with the team. I know he went down to practice with the G League, but he's coming back. He will be in the rotation. It's just a matter of him getting a few practices under his belt, some 5-on-5. How do we feel about that, fam? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I get it. Offensively, it's not there. Rebounding is not there, but I've seen him rebound, right? So that potential is there. He's been watching. He knows what he needs to do when he gets back in this rotation. But that second unit is really struggling, in my opinion. Like, I think one game we were outscored 62-12 or something. Another game it was 40-13. We got to use first unit guys to run with the second unit because we just don't have enough players. So I'm looking forward to Obi Toppin coming back and to see what he can bring. His minutes are going to be limited, right? He was only averaging 17 minutes before he went out, right? Randle is playing lights out in that time. So Obi might not even get 17 minutes. He might get 12, 14 minutes. So I don't think it's going to be a lot of time, but whatever he can give him, in my opinion, I think we need it. I would like to see, like I said, Fournier back in that rotation, Rose for a few minutes, whatever it is, just so the starters can get, a bit more rest. So Obi Toppin is coming back. RJ Barrett, I don't think we have an actual date for when he's coming back. He said that he's going to see his doctor sometime soon, and so maybe that'll help as far as a timeline is concerned. But he did discuss the injury, and he said it wasn't anything that Luka Doncic did. His left hand hit his right hand, and it bent it all the way back, and he thought it was the bone that popped through the skin, but apparently it was a tendon that popped through his skin. But anyway, he needed 6 stitches. The stitches are still in. They're going to be removed soon. And then I'm pretty sure we'll have a better idea. Well, not that the Knicks are going to give us an update, right? They're not going to give us an update. We didn't know what was going on with Obi Toppin until he went from doubtful to questionable, and then he was cleared to play. So I don't think we're going to get any type of updates for RJ Barrett, but the stitches are coming out soon. And I think, after that, he should be revving up, getting ready to play. And like he said, it's just the healing process. He's getting in shape, staying in shape, doing a little bit of shooting, but there's nothing he can do but just wait, right? So that's the update on RJ Barrett. And I want to talk a little bit about the All-Star fan vote returns. We talked about this on the Just Nicking It show Thursday. No one on the Knicks, Brunson, Randle, RJ, Mitchell Robinson, IQ was in the top 10, either the front court or the back court. And listen, I don't think Brunson and Randle, I think they're going to get voted in by one or both of them, depending on how well the Knicks are playing at the time that the coaches vote will probably get in. I think this was just about the fan base and just seeing how the fan base of Golden State got 6 of their players in, voted enough to get 6 of their players. And these are early returns. I think January 12th or 6th, January 12th, will get the next returns. But in the early returns, the first returns, that fan base got 6 of their players in to the top 10. Brooklyn's fan base got Nick Claxton in to the top 10. So listen, if you don't think Brunson and Randle are all-stars, don't vote for them. But if you do think they're all-stars, vote for them every day, right? You can vote every day for your players. I know Ajay, and I started doing this. I didn't even think about this. Ajay says that he votes for, on the Eastern Conference, all he has is Knicks. Every day he votes for, correct me if I'm wrong, Ajay, Brunson, Quickly, RJ, Randall, and Mitch every day. I never even thought of that. But I can't say I was doing it every day, but at least 3 or 4 times, a week, I was voting for these two guys. And you know what? Brunson said, listen, I can only control what I can control. But on some level, I think he might have been disappointed. I didn't hear anything Randall said about voting or not voting for it. I think when we talked about it on the show, Jerrell, correct me if I'm wrong, thought that maybe it might impact Randall's performance, but I didn't really see any difference. He's really locked in. So for those who don't know, there was a time where the fans' vote would dictate who would start in the All-Star game, right? It was 100% fan voting for the starters, right? Now, the fans' vote counts for 50%, right? The players account for 25%, and the media, there's a media panel. Everybody doesn't get the vote, but there's select media that have the opportunity to vote. They account for 25% of who starts, in the All-Star game. So, Knick family, between now and January 12th, it's just an opportunity to show love. They may not start in the All-Star game. When you look at this Eastern Conference, it's loaded, right? Just look at the first 5 teams, right? It's just loaded. But it's just an opportunity to show love. It's just an opportunity, when Derrick Rose looks and sees that he was 9th out of all of the guards in the NBA, he was not. He knows he's not playing in the All-Star game as a starter or reserve. He's not playing, but I'm sure he appreciates the love. And that's the Chicago fan base. I'm sure he appreciates the love. So these two guys may not start, probably won't start, right? But it's just an opportunity for us as a fan base, as one of the largest fan bases, to show our love for those two guys and just to get out and vote for them every day. You can vote once within 24 hours. LIY said yesterday votes was 3 for 1. So there are certain days when you vote once and it counts as three votes. I did vote yesterday. I didn't know that LIYs until later on that evening. Canal Band Lawyer, Knicks fans only show up to bash the Knicks. I mean, what I do love about this fan base is, for the most part, we tell it as we see it. Like, we're not going to gloss over it. If somebody is not playing well, they're not playing well. But what I also noticed about our fan base is when a player goes back to playing well, we still stuck on what they used to do, right? And that's the same thing with Randall, and I'm seeing a little bit with RJ Barrett. Like, people have turned on RJ Barrett in the beginning. Not everybody, but a lot of the fan base had turned on RJ Barrett when he wasn't playing well in the beginning of the season. Then he started playing well. He was playing very well when he got injured over the last 10, 12 games. And some of the fan base is still not feeling RJ Barrett. Angel Torres, I do vote for only Knicks every day on the East. Brunson, RJ, Mitch, Randall, and Rose. Yeah. Oh, and Rose. Okay, so Rose is getting some Knick love. I alternate. I do those 4, since Ajay brought it up, and I alternate between IQ and Grimes. Bayside Jr., Derrick Rose has a lot of fans. It's not just Chicago. Yeah, to your point, Angel Torres votes for him. Remember when Wiggins got in because the K-pop group liked him? I don't take it that seriously, but I do vote. Yeah, you're right about that. So, wow, so Knicks is showing love to Derrick Rose, but not to Brunson. James Glass, vote. We expect these guys to play under the brightest light with the harshest criticism, and we can't even give them a vote. Like I said, I agree with you, James Glass. Like I said, I think it just encourages them to know the fan base is behind them. Like, I think they know on some level they're not going to start. They know that on some level. But when the returns come in and you like, wow, my fan base voted for me number 5 in the front court, or Brunson, like, wow, the fan base voted for me, I don't know, number 8, number 6 in the Eastern Conference. I think, I think it's just a way to show love. Now, listen, both of these guys are mentally tough. Even if they were a little disappointed, that's not impacting how they show up to a game. It's not impacting how they play in the game. And I don't even think it impacts how they feel about the fans. I really don't. I just think it's an opportunity for us to show love. That's all. And we got another opportunity. January 12th is the second fan returns. Remember, the fans is just 50% for the starters. Almighty Finesse, I voted for Hartenstein, Joker of the East. Are you serious? Let me know if you're serious about that. Bayside Jr., all Knicks East and former Knicks in the West. Wow. Theo Pinson would start if it was up to me. Wow. Rebuild NYK. Why don't we have our guys in the mix, all the so-called Knicks fans? Yep. All Knicks every day, Ajay. Canal Band lawyer. Fournier and Rose shouldn't be playing. You mean in the Knicks game? Okay. All right. Shot Powers, how do you feel about Evan over D Rose with the spot minutes? That's a good question. I like the way Fournier is playing right now. Giving us a little something, at least last night in every category, the potential for the 3. But I could go with either one. I think when you go with Rose, and now you're going Rose quickly and McBride, unless you're talking about McBride not playing at all. And I think we do need his point of attack defense. I'm okay with any one of them. I'm even okay with Obi. I just feel like we need to expand this rotation. Harlem Girl, shout out to Harlem Girl. I vote every day for all Knicks. Yeah. Sherwin, voting for Rose, RJ, IQ is most ridiculous. Their play don't deserve a vote. Randle is the only Knick player that should be an all-star. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on how you look at it. Some of us take it very seriously. I'm only voting for those who are all-star caliber players. That's all I'm voting for. But there's others who say, nah, this is about who I want to see as a fan in the all-star game, whether they're playing at an all-star level or not. Draymond Green is 8th. He's not playing at an all-star level, in my opinion. Kevin Looney is 10th in the Western Conference. Is he playing at an all-star level? This season, I'm talking this season. For the guards in the Western Conference, Austin Reeves is 9th. He got 520,000 votes. Is he playing at an all-star level? It's not. It's just an opportunity for you to show love to your players. Now in the East, other than Derrick Rose, you could tell those in the East is taking this very serious because all of these guys are potential, except for Nick Claxton, right? Nick Claxton, the Brooklyn fan base, he got 160,407 votes, right? So among front court players in the East, he's 9th, right? It's the fan base, supporting him, and the fan base thinking that, you know what? As far as centers are concerned, he's right there with the best of them. That's what they believe. Shout out to Stafford Don. I miss you, my brother. The NBA needs to take the vote away from the fans. I don't think so. It's a fans game. It's the fan. Listen, the NBA is making the money that they're making because of the fans, because of the viewership. We could talk about the contracts, the money that they're getting from ESPN to broadcast the games and the Turner Network, TNT for broadcasting the games. But why are they making money? Because of the viewership, right? You're getting the viewership. So now if you have viewership, now advertisers now want to advertise for an NBA game because there's a lot of eyes on that game. And who are those eyes? Those are the fans. So I don't think you can cut the fans out of fan voting. The fans is what driving the NBA to have the success that they are having, right? They did cut it down. There was a time when 100% the starters, 100% fan vote. The fans decided who voted. Now the fans just get 50% of the vote. The players get to vote for each other now. They get 25% of the vote. And the media gets 25% of the vote. So I think, and partly of why they did it, because somebody popular like Rose could find his way into the All-Star game starting, even though he hadn't played or didn't play much, right? So that's why they put it down to 50%. But I like the way they have it now. You got to acknowledge the fans, and in terms of the success of the NBA, it's because of the fans. How do the Knicks even have fans? Kevin Van Lawyer. It's just an opportunity for fans to be biased. I like keeping it real. I mean, I hear you, but 50%, I think when the All-Star starters are announced, it's going to be legit. It's going to be legit. All right. The Knicks are now 6th in the Eastern Conference, 22-18, tied with Indiana. But again, the Knicks have the tiebreaker. Look at Indiana. Knicks 5-5 over their last 10. Indiana 7-3 over their last 10. The Knicks have the largest winning streak in the league as of 11 o'clock last night. So it might have been some games still going on. But Cleveland would have been the only one. Yeah, I think the Knicks have the largest winning streak in the league, right now. I want to talk a little bit about, before I get into the trade rumors, I just want to say, about RJ Barrett. Let me just go back here. We're 4-1. He's been out for 5 games. We're 4-1 in his absence, but I still think we need him. I still think we need RJ Barrett. I just want to run, if I have his numbers. In the 10 games prior to his injury, he was averaging 25 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 3.2 assists. He was shooting 47% from the field and 44.6% from 3. We can use that. I think it takes a little pressure off of Randle. I think it takes a little pressure off of Brunson. I think it allows our second unit to go back to where it was, and we can start bringing these minutes down. So I know Almighty Finesse says we don't need RJ. I disagree. What do you guys think? Do you think we need? I know Harlem Girl believes we need RJ back. What do you guys think? Do you think like, wow, this team is humming along without RJ Barrett? Maybe we should trade him. Maybe we don't need him. Or are you feeling like, wow, we're playing well without RJ Barrett? Just imagine what could be once he returns. Now, there may be some chemistry issues, little hiccups, the first few games he returns, but over the long haul, I do think we need him. All right. Let me just go into some of the trade rumors, and I'm just going to give you my quick thoughts on them before I get out of here. LaVine, the Knicks are monitoring the situation. I'm okay if they do it. I'm okay if they don't. I don't feel really strongly about LaVine. I feel like I want to use our assets on a proven star, not a budding star who really hasn't had a lot of experience in the playoffs. The playoffs are a different beast. You look good in the regular season. Playoffs come, you don't look that good, right? I want to save my assets for a player who's relatively young and proven and has played in the playoffs and has had some success in the playoffs. That's just me. There's nothing to say that LaVine won't play well in the playoffs if we were to trade for him. I just would like to know that before I give up my assets, because once I give them up, I may be stuck for a little while, in terms of being able to now get off of that contract and get somebody who is proven in the playoffs. So I'm okay if they do it, if they don't. Right now, there's no indication that the Bulls are blowing it up. But From what I hear, the Knicks are monitoring the situation, and they like LaVine. I don't know how they're going to get him. Are you giving up Randle? Are you giving up Brunson? You can't really trade RJ right now because his salary, his salary going to the Bulls would only be what he's making this season, which is $10 million. So you're sending out $10 million, you're taking back in 30. It's going to be really hard to do that if you want to trade centered around RJ Barrett. And I don't think the Knicks, there was Ian Begley reported that the Knicks have no desire to trade Julius Randle. None. The front office. Before the draft, maybe, but now they have no desire to trade Randle. And Randle is not somebody I would trade for LaVine. I'm trading Randle for a superstar, or somebody that's better than him. I'm not trading him for LaVine. So anyway, the Knicks are monitoring the situation. That's how I feel about it. I could take it or leave it. My preference is somebody who's a bit more proven. And Anunoby, the Knicks made the call to see if he was available. There's no indication that he is available, but there's some rumblings that Toronto may blow it up and trade either him or Siakam. We've seen Anunoby these last 2 games. I've seen him basically his entire career. I like his game. I do think he would help the Knicks. What's the compensation? I'm not giving up 3 first-round draft picks for Anunoby. To me, Anunoby is a piece. He's a good piece. He's a two-way player. We need players who can score, shoot, and defend, right? I'm tired of these players that can defend and not score, can't defend. We need two-way players, and he's that. But what are they talking about? I'm not giving up 3 first-round draft picks. There was one report that said 2 first-round draft picks and a young player. I would do that. The Knicks have 8 unprotected first-round picks over the next 5 years, and they have 3 protected draft picks. One of them likely protected, right? Milwaukee's 2025 pick, top 5 protected. So that pick will convey, right? So if you want 2 first-round picks, even if they're unprotected, that still leaves us with 6 first-round picks. It leaves us with 3 protected picks. And if you're taking one young player, we have a plethora of them, so I'm okay with that. Anything above that, I just think we need to we need to move on. And I haven't heard any rumors about DeMar DeRozan. I just heard the fan base, some members of the fan base saying that they would like DeMar DeRozan. And, I like DeMar DeRozan. I really do. He's a sniper, especially in that mid-range. He's another clutch player. I just think unless you're moving one of Randle, RJ, and Brunson, it's going to be hard to have 4 players in your starting lineup who command the ball, who play their best with the ball in their hand. Talk about my turn, your turn offense. There would be even more of that, right? So I would say no on DeMar DeRozan if you're not trading one of those 3 players. But that has nothing to do with his game and everything to do with just his fit, because somebody is not going to be as effective when you're bringing in yet somebody else who needs the ball in his hand to be at his best, right? So that's what I got today. I'm going to check in with the chat. If you haven't already, let me do this real quick. We play Milwaukee next Monday. Milwaukee right now is 25-14. They're 3rd in the Eastern Conference. They've been struggling a little bit, 4-6 over their last 10. They've lost 1 game, I think, and they lost bad. I think Giannis only had 9 points in that game. They're going to be ready, right? They're 26 in offense. They're not a great offensive team, but they're 3rd in defense, right? And they're 12th in net rating. So they're used to playing these close games where they're squeaking it out, right? 1.2 points per game per 100 possessions, right? So they have a stout defense, not a great offense. The Knicks, on the other hand, has a top 10 offense and defense, right? And they're 8th in net rating at 2.6, which is the difference between their offense and their defense. The projected starters for us: Brunson, Quickly, Grimes, Randle, Robinson. For them, Drew Holiday, Grayson Allen, Pat Connaughton, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Brooke Lopez. Shout out, Steph, I was yelling at my TV last night. Brunson was not moving the ball. I don't think we're going to get it. I think this is our offense. These guys are him and Randle are so good with the ball in their hand. They will move it if they're double teamed. They're not selfish by any stretch. But they feel like they can take their guy, get to their spots, and get their shot off at any point, and they can. I want more ball movement because I want the defense to work. Shout out to Almighty Finesse. Sherman, I appreciate you. Canal Ben Lawyer. Ron, still Knick fans. Keyshawn. Germ Warfare. It's been a minute. Appreciate you. Cool Cal G. DeRozan is a win today piece. Not for us. I would agree with that. Let's get James Harden. Shot Powers, I appreciate you. It's me, Ajay, Chris B, Shot Powers, Keith Turner, appreciate you. Almighty Finesse, Harlem Girl. So I'll try to get as many as I can before I think Robert Woodard, I appreciate you as well. Kenny Payne, Tim Smith, who was the first in the building. I appreciate you as well. Bayside Jr., Ally Wise, did I say? Ally Wise, appreciate you. Old Head, I think Building Blocks. Trav, appreciate you. B. Ryan in the building. I hope I got everybody. And whoever I didn't, please forgive me. It's not because I don't appreciate you guys. Monday, NBA pregame show, Monday, 8:30. Well, Monday, actually, the Knicks play Monday, so Queens Court might be a little early. Make sure, subscribe to Nothing But Knicks. I'm the host of the Queens Court on that channel still. That's where I got my start. Those are my people, MBK. But the Knicks play Monday night, so Queens Court might be early, might be like 6:30. We'll see. I'll be back Tuesday, 9 a.m. for the morning recap show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification button. I appreciate you all. Peace.
Sister, you're one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Don't stop.
Where you at? Where you at?
Don't stop.
Where you at? Where you at?
Don't stop.